Hello and welcome to lesson 45 of the workbook, and today's headline is God is the mind with which I think. And again, today's lesson is a continuation of yesterday's. It's just another level. The exercise is the same as yesterday, which I still find very beautiful, like I said already yesterday in the video. And what I want to talk to you about is something that shook me a little bit more, which is some of the information in paragraph 1. So it starts quite okay and all quite clear. Today's idea holds the key to what your real thoughts are. They are nothing that you think, just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. That is, of course, something we have heard before. That is still clear, even that we don't know what that really means if we have not experienced real thoughts yet or vision. But then the next sentence is, there is no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Nothing that you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you. And that is something that shook me a little bit in the last 24 hours, because it's, I guess, our minds and our nature always goes to try and figure things out and help ourselves by that, right? We try to get somewhere, so we picture it, we try to grasp it. Even if we try to think outside of the box and going out of your comfort zone, we always try to get there before we are there, so to say, to help us on our way as well. It's not just because we are doing this for the wrong reasons. Of course, this is very limited, right? We're talking here about God, the universe and source. Of course, we are so much more limited to grasp it, but at the same time, it is like, okay, so if the thoughts that I have on a general basis, I completely accept that a lot of them are false, some of them are attack thoughts, okay, I actually do feel that my thoughts are already changing throughout going through the workbook, the quality of it. But that the real thoughts are something completely different than the thoughts that we're having, not just from the content, but probably as well from the experience of having thoughts. That is, of course, like, okay, wow, okay, what does that mean, right? And yeah, I mean, we probably can't grasp this at this moment. We cannot even imagine. That's the thing. Cannot even imagine. We just have to trust, and once it happens, then we will know, right? And it's the same with vision. It's something completely different than what we're seeing now, seeing with the eyes, or seeing probably with our mind, with our imagination. That's seeing as well. And vision is something completely different. It's like, okay. And I think then, when I did the exercise, something did come up just now when I repeated it for the third time. I, of course, did not get to have the real thoughts, otherwise I would tell you and not talk about this anymore in this regards. But I did get a couple of other kind of thoughts, more guiding thoughts or more clearer thoughts, I would call them, which was quite nice, because at some point when I was in the nothing and really, sitting there and not actively trying to find the real thoughts, but asking to find them and just sitting still, I suddenly had a little bit of fear coming up of what it means once you have real thoughts or vision, right? What does that mean for your life, right? People probably who have reached it can tell us, and there is for sure nothing bad about it. But that's the typical human response that is still inside of me that created a little bit of fear. And then suddenly there was this thought, oh, do it anyway. Fear is just holding you back from stepping out of your comfort zone. But it was a very matter-of-fact thought that wasn't really mine. It came from somewhere else. I do know that distinction by now. Not that I have not thought that before or heard this before, of course, like even if you are in fear, do it anyway, or fear is just holding you back from stepping out of your comfort zone, for example. I have, of course, had thoughts like this before. It was just a different kind of quality of thought. It was very neutral, very calm, and not in the matter and quality of my usual thoughts, which was lovely to get that. It was just like a split second and then it was gone again, but it was a very nice experience. So yeah, paragraph 1 did me a little bit and probably was the reason as well for me having that little bit of fear in one of my exercises, but that's okay as well, that's fine. What I did find as well quite interesting is paragraph 2, where it describes of how our minds are one or connected, however you want to see it. And it reminds me of something, again, while I was doing the exercise, I of course try to imagine or think as well again that I am in my mind one with God, and that God is the mind with which I think. And then initially I was thinking, well, we are connected. And then the other thought that came to me afterwards was that we have like a bit of a small copy of the whole mind. It's just another way of looking at it, because if we have the real thoughts inside of us, which are the thoughts from all the way back, and if they are in my mind, then it's just like a copy and paste. It's something to do as well with physics of what I read before, and there are experiments as well. If you halve something, then it's not half of it is in one and half of the other thing is in the other, but it's just two smaller parts of the whole, so everything is in one. I would probably need to look up that experiment. It's a YouTube video that I've seen before, and I have read about this before, but this is just what came to my mind when I have to somehow try to understand what it means that God is my mind, or that I have the real thoughts already in my mind. And that helped me more than thinking that our minds are connected and that I need to reach into the connected mind of God to get to the real thoughts. Does that make sense, what I'm just saying? So I'm trying to explain to myself an easier way that I have access to the real thoughts. I think that's just what it is. That's what just came to me. So yeah, a lot of beautiful text in this lesson 45. I'm not going to talk much more about this. I would love to hear from you. How did you find the exercise today? Have you experienced something? Let me know, share with us. We would love to celebrate any success that you have experienced, because if it's possible for you, it's possible for us. So let us be part of it and inspire us. We would love to hear from you. And I will see you again tomorrow for lesson 46. Until then, love you and bye-bye.